seems to be a lot of people misguiding others who are looking for answers. Whether it's a psychiatrist or a spirit guide or a parent, um, or a guardian of some sort, even a teacher. And that's very disappointing because there are so many people, so many adults that we look up to, and only to just know that all they're doing it for is just it's just a facade. All they're doing it is for money, and they're just saying face. But the song "Misleading" Compass, it does cut. It's basically based on calling out this woman named Marianne Williamson, and the thing is that our 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 co-singer used to well, unfortunately she opted out. So our ex co-singer, at least as of now, she opted out. Our ex co-singer, but she looked up to this spirit guide as well. She had many of Marianne Williamson's books. I was considering voting for her, but then I started catching on and saying, do you know what? She's just using these buzzwords, and do you know what? There are even people like diving deep, infinite waters, who just learn these like things like on the surface, and they just learn the broad stuff, and they think that they know everything. But then when you call them out and say, no, you're kind of like being misguided here, you're misguiding others, there's more to this, because people need to understand a lot of spiritual growth comes from struggle. It comes from pain. It comes from suffering, because you need to grow and find ways out of that suffering. But there are just some people out there who are just like the snake oil salesman of those things. Just follow my lead, and you'll have the answers. But do you know what? Many of those people, whether they're spirit guides or parental guides, or just like any sort of guide, there are plenty out there who will mislead you for their own agenda. I mean, look at what's going on in our schools nowadays. Even though that's not what the song was initially written about nor for. But it applies, though. I find it really disgusting how we have so many people that we look up to, only to realize that what they're saying is riddled with garbage. And not everything. They might throw in some truths, but sometimes, if not most of the time, people take that little bit of truth and then ignore the rest of the nonsense, and they actually fall for the nonsense. It's like, oh, well, just because they were true here, honest here, they must be honest all the time. So even if the lie isn't, so even if they're lying, I'll still believe that it is true. And it's not just that, but people just like care. Just because you know some things doesn't mean that you know everything. And a lot of people confuse a lot of concepts here. There are a lot of misconceptions. Because if you do yoga, or even meditation, when we if you ever said I or me, you know you're talking about your soul. Unfortunately, a lot of these people adopt Buddhism and New Ageism and spirituality because there is I and me in there. And the thing is that they're saying, oh, well, you're messing up my vibe. Oh, well, me this, me that, me. When they mean me in the Buddhist and New Agey and all the spiritual realms, they're talking about your soul. Okay, I know that this is a little sidetrack here. But they're talking about your soul, your aura, what's inside you. They're talking to you, but a lot of people confuse those lessons with their ego. And a lot of these people who are successful have extremely high egos. Like, you challenge them, they are going to be up your butt. They are going to be up there like a bike with no seat. But in all honesty, those are the types of people you should absolutely avoid. It's they're trying to do good. And I'm not saying avoid all of them. I'm saying just like avoid the frauds, because there are some people who legitimately want to help you grow. But the ones with these like huge egos and mislead you really demolish the ones who are trying to legitimately help others. But it's just awful how people feel like the ones that they should trust and they should believe, those are the ones that are not helping them out. And also, case in point, with our ex-member, she and I went out to a retreat once, a spiritual retreat. And this spirit guide was lifting me up, and this was a female, and was lifting me up, but it wasn't lifting my friend up. And she felt neglected and isolated, and it's like, if you're gonna be a spirit guide, you can't pick favorites. You can't you have to speak to everybody. But do you know what? A lot of people with egos are very selective with who they talk to and who they talk about. In that case, you're not a teacher. You're not a spirit guide. You're not somebody, or any form of guide. You're nothing. If you mislead people, you're not what you think you are. And there are plenty of those people out there, of all sorts. But you know what? It's disheartening. But I do my best to keep it 100% real. And actually, no, I do keep it 100% real. I know not to misguide people, because I know that just causes chaos and causes even more problems. So, if you guys want to have someone to talk to, or any music to listen to where you feel accepted, this is your community. It's for great artistry, and it's also for people whose voices are very silent. And it's very unfortunate that they are, because there are a lot of great people who want to do good. but are being led by a lot of people who don't want that. They're just in it for the status. They're in it for their own egos. They're in it for the pleasure. And they're not in there, and they're not in it for the pleasure of teaching and lifting, helping lift others. If people say I am better than you, or try to give off the vibe, or they say you don't know what you're talking about, instead of learning from the students, learning from this, because I'm sorry, but even masters of all crafts learn from other people, even their own students, because there's always a difference. There's a difference in perspective. But you know what? It's not fair to anybody. Keep your head up, and again, you always have us, this band, to talk to, whether it's in the comment section. I'm right now working on a site to post up all of our music, and even to put in like a little community, where we can all chat. Hopefully it can work that way. I'll do my best, but we should all be looking out for each other. Okay? Don't misguide others. Don't misguide others just for the sake of your own safety and comfort and your own ego. That's something that you're going to very much regret down the road. Okay, thank you very much, and I'll see y'all around.